It's that simple. It's just about claiming what's already there. They give you the option. 12 USC 411 is giving you the option. It's just simply stating, hey, I'm redeeming in public credit, not private. So let me cover these 10 points because this is all that really matters. And if you get this, you get everything. Again, there are only direct and indirect taxes. The 16th Amendment limited Congress's power of taxation. All right. People always think that's a bad thing. It took away rights. It didn't have anything with rights. It only mattered about money. It was all about money. All right. Number 3, the income tax is an indirect or excise tax. That means it's due to an event. The income tax is not a tax on income. It's a tax on an event that happens because of an exchange in currency. Remember how I talked about that earlier? Receiving income is not a right or a privilege. All right. So again, there is no benefit. There's no license needed to receive money. Federal Reserve notes are elastic legal tender. That means they're a private currency. That means they have a benefit, and that means they incur a taxable event. All right. Finally, unless objected to, the FRNs received, they are received as private credit. All right. So you have to object upon rendering. Now that doesn't mean that as they're flipping out the $20 bills that you say, I object. I want this in public credit in U.S. U.S. notes. The teller is going to look at you, quite frank, and go, what? What does that matter? They may even call somebody, get some help. They're still going to give you the same money. Because why? Because even if you said, I want this in U.S. banknotes, they just gave it to you. You have a choice. That it contains both options on the same paper. So don't go trying to claim, I want this in gold or I want this in public credit. They just gave it to you. You got to claim it now. You got to show your proof that you know what you know, and that's it. And knowing what you know is just simply signing one check, redeemed in lawful money per USC, 12 USC 411, deposit to the account. That's it. You get that, scan it, you have your proof. That shows that you know what you know. You send that into the IRS if they ever ask a question. That's a done deal. That's it. It's as simple as it is. So, citizen benefits received, rights, that's all a corporate tax, all right? And FRNs redeemed as lawful money avoid a taxable event. That's the biggest thing I think you want to take from all of this, all right? Also, special deposit accounts allows one to hold gold and silver in kind, which means they have to hold, if my, gold coins has a serial number of 1,000,001, I have to get back the coin that has the serial 1,000,001. If they give me back 1,000,002, I can sue them, and I can sue them for not a lot of money, but a decent amount. So the IRS doesn't follow any lower court rulings, except the Supreme Courts. That's why all we talk about inside of this is Supreme Court cases, nothing else. This is all Supreme Court, okay? So, ultimately, there is a lot of stuff inside the Supreme Court cases, okay? Now I'm just going to go over the very big stuff, which is most people asking, do they ever overturn any of this? No, there's never been an overturning of any lawful money cases ever. None. Okay? So, again, what people are talking about inside of here is that legal tender converts to lawful money when there is an objection on render. That used to be when they paid out in gold notes versus private notes. So that actually did make a difference back then in 1884. Nowadays, it doesn't, but it just shows the idea that money on the credit of the United States, being instruments of the national government, they are exempt from taxation. That's as clear as I could make it, folks. Money on the credit of the United States, right? When you claim it as public credit, the United States banknote, not as a Federal Reserve note, right? You're claiming that seal on the right, and it is now public credit on the United States. It is an instrument of the national government, and it is exempt from the taxation. Honestly, I think that I should probably just stop there because anything else you guys may get questions, and you can read the red parts. Those are the most important. Bold is, of course, important, but the red is where it's all at, okay? And at the end of everything, we do kind of talk about the result. What does this mean in layman's terms? Because, again, this is all a lawyer or a judge, a Supreme Court judge, talking and just basically giving the idea, which means they're going to use a lot of legalese and weird language. So the result is going to tell you everything. All we're covering is what direct versus indirect taxes are. What is a corporate tax? What is a transfer that obligates a tax? Here's a guy, Supreme Court Justice, affirming that the 16th Amendment didn't add powers of taxation. It only made sure that direct and indirect taxes are better quantified. So that way you don't accidentally get an income tax when you shouldn't be, because you're claiming lawful money. That's what the 16th Amendment was. It was written by the elites for the elites. In fact, if you go back to the writing of it, that piece of paper was written, it was never amended, never changed, and it was written about a year and a half prior by a private lawyer. So that just goes to show that it was one of their lawyers that basically said, you're going to put this in to make sure that we don't get income taxes, in the coming century. And that's what it did. So again, Congress confirms income tax as an indirect tax, which again means that it is based on a taxable event, right? What's a taxable event? It's distinguished from its tangible fruits, which means that you can take currency and you can say 1 minus 2 equals 1. So there's a difference of 1. Now we're taxing that 1. Federal Reserve notes are legal tender and lawful money without obligation to render in specie. So again, don't go asking for lawful money. No, you didn't. They did. They serve as both legal and lawful. So again, they're both at the same time. They're telling you right there in plain sight, look, we gave you both choices. You just need to record on your own account for your own private needs that I redeem in lawful money. And then whenever the big bad 3-letter agency comes by, you just show them that, and they're going to scamper off. So only Congress can declare what's legal tender. Again, income defined. All of these are just basically teaching you, again, more and more. Lawful money's been decided on very thoroughly, okay? How do you redeem it? All you got to do is write this. Deposited for credit on account, redeemed in lawful money per 12 U.S.C. 411. You sign your name, comma, grantor. Some people get little stamps like this. You just scan it like this. Here's some proof. This proof was sent to the IRS, by the way, like this. So you can take this and copy it for yourself. They sent this page right to the IRS. I think they had about a $5,000 fine or something, or $5,000 and some change. And after they received this, they said, okay, we're checking this out. Please give us a 90 days. And then they sent another thing back and they said, you know what? You don't owe us anything. And these people have never been contacted since then. I believe this was in like 2012 or so. It was a while back. Basically, again, we've kept up with them in the last few years. They've almost gone 7-8 years now. No contact with IRS, even though they bring in hundreds of thousands of dollars, no issues. So again, we suggest setting up a C Corp lawful money bank. That's very easy. You're just going to use this down below, fill it out, you're done. It's that simple. I'm going to skip down a little bit more. The only other thing you're going to use is a notice of intent for banking. And that just lets them know, hey, I'm redeeming everything in lawful money. That's all this is. So even when you use a C Corp or a trust, make sure you give this to them.
All right, can someone tell me if I'm overreacting? Because